can do anything that we wanna do. Long as you got me, and I know I got you. We a team. No in between.
Hi, Miss Barbara.
Hi.
So Candlelighters NYC,
Yes.
all right? You started it how many years ago?
I started it 18 years ago.
18 years ago, but you've been working in this field of helping families with you know, that are battling cancer for their kids.
Now, I really believe that that's an oxymoron, childhood cancer.
Right.
Cancer and children should never come together. And I think that everybody would agree to that.
I was thinking about how we met.
Shannon Yoder's mommy told me about you. She said, I haven't wanted to speak about Ann Lenane. She's my secret weapon that I keep, that she did these wonderful things for me, but I've never told anybody.
So Joe, Shannon's mother, actually had called me. I have a house in the Bahamas and people call me to rent it. And Joe called me and kind of cryptically said, we're thinking about coming, my family's coming. And oh, by the way, is there any medical care on the island? And so I wrote back and said, listen, there's not even a clinic, there's nothing. What's up, why don't you call me? And then she called and she told me that this was her daughter who was dying's last family trip. Her daughter at the time, I think, was in her early 20s, right?
She was about 21.
I wasn't sure whether the Bahamas or that my house was going to work because of her medical needs, potentially, if something went wrong. And so I was like, listen, if it's not my house, which of course you can have for free, I'm going to find you another place in the United States, what might be closer to medical, and went through this whole thing. And ultimately they ended up staying at my house. And I get these pictures that it was their last trip. So anyway, and then she went on and I heard that Shannon had passed away and I didn't hear from them again.
Shannon was a member of Candlelighters New York City. All the time that she was sick, I would go to the hospital and visit her. She was an amazing young woman who really, really had so much to give and so much to live. And I got to know the family because at Candlelighters New York City, we get to know the whole family. Cancer never just is just the kid. And she was a young adult, and it's hardest for me when they're young adults because their whole life is ahead of them. They know who they're going to be. You can see who Shannon was going to be, and she was robbed of her life by cancer. So I had this family of twins, little boys, and they needed a place to stay.
This is now many years later.
Many, many years later. And I got a call from Joe Yoder just to say hi. She was on the phone. I was crying, and I said, it's so sad. I have twin boys. They need 2 bedrooms, an apartment. And who would ever get it for them?
One of them was
sick with cancer and dying.
Sick. Right.
And his brother kept waking him up because they were staying in the same bedroom. So they needed a 2-bedroom for about a month until
while they were going
through
cancer treatment here in New York. Right.
So she said, okay, I don't usually tell anybody. I haven't told anybody, but Barbara, I'm giving you my secret weapon. And that's Ann Lenane. Call her, see what she can do.
Meanwhile, I hadn't spoken to her since this visit to my house.
So I called you up and I said, Ann, this is who I am. I know, and all that I had to do was tell you Shannon Yoder, and you said, what can I do? And immediately came to our aid, got a 2-bedroom apartment for them, and I remember you saying so quickly, give me a list of what they want. I want to know what kind of bread, what kind of juice, what kind of milk. And I said, this woman is a powerhouse, and she's, I don't know, but we're going to work this out together.
Right.
You did everything. You got everything for them, and that's how we first met.
You are the angel to families that are in town, a lot of Sloan Kettering, a lot of brain tumors, and a lot of little kids that are in town, either from another country, from another state, or fairly locally. What are the things that Candlelighters does?
We do whatever the families need. They come from all over the country, or even from locally, to find a cure for their child's cancer.
Right, exactly.
They love their kids more than anything in the whole wide world. They're willing to do anything for them. A lot of them don't have family here. Candlelighters New York City becomes their family.
Right, so you're working with transportation. You're working with, if it's a holiday, you do holiday parties.
Well, Sugar Factory closes down their whole restaurant for us. Every year they pay for everything with a DJ and dancing, and we buy the costumes for everyone.
Right.
And Christmas, we have the New York City Police Department and the firefighters making a big party for the kids with Santa and everybody, and everything we do has to be OTT, over the top, like you are, Ann.
Right.
Seriously. It can never just be okay for them. They deserve much better than okay. The average age of our kid is 4 years old. Right. So these are little kids, but we also have 18-year-olds and we have 20-year-olds. And so we stay with the families. We don't leave them because cancer a lot of times comes back.
Cancer does come back.
So we're there. We don't dump them because they're done with their treatment. We
Right.
stay with them.
Right, you do stay with them. And in your early days, you would have the kids come over to your apartment.
I ran it out of my own apartment
Right.
for 21 years.
And Stewart, your husband, was there. And a saint, because he would have these little children and these families from Oklahoma in his living room.
You want the comfort of your home, and
Right.
that's not available
Right.
anywhere.
But the second best was yours.
Most of these families are never invited to another person's apartment.
There was a wonderful little boy that came into town, and it was his last trip to New York, and this was his favorite place, and he wanted to go to Hamilton. I'm gonna cry. So we got JetBlue to get them on and off the plane in a comfortable way, and also to be able to have them go to Hamilton at the time. And I can't I'm just remembering his
and
face.
I'm keeping my composure, which is very rare.
I know. I can't.
But those are so important. It's nothing. We don't give each one a teddy bear.
Right.
Because every family has wants.
Right, right.
And we want them to get what
Right.
they individually will make them happier. Make them remember, give them memories. Someone had asked me what else is very, very important that you would want. And I said, food gift cards. If a family wants to, if he wants to have a steak or she wants to have ice cream or whatever they want,
Right.
they should be able to go.
Here's the call to action. We want experiences, sporting tickets, theater tickets. We want airline miles would be great.
Money.
A place to stay. If there is dinner, anybody that's got restaurants that wants
Correct.
to go ahead and donate, give you
Correct.
gift certificates.
Correct.
Cash is king. So we really also need to make sure that you can then allocate those funds. How much money have you given in the last even few years to these families?
Over
Right?
$350,000,
Right.
and I'm in charge of raising funds.
Right.
It's not easy. Luckily, we do have some people, but if you have a company that can match or
Right.
send us, everybody loves kids. If you've ever been an adult in the hospital, when you go get x-rays or MRIs, you're seeing these little kids on gurneys. That's our kids.
No, and that is absolutely heartbreaking. I cannot imagine being the parent, and it's the way that you connect with these families. In some ways, I would think that it would break you at a certain point.
Right now, I have a little boy who's dying in Armenia who is worried about me, how I will be. He's 11 years old and I'm his bestie. And he said, I know it'll be peaceful in heaven, but I really worry about you, Barbara, how you're going to be, because we speak every day.
Right.
He's my hero. He's finding ways, he's looking up how can he donate some organs to save another child. Who does this at 11? Who does this ever in life?
Right.
Then I have a young man who's 18. He was 7 when he finished his cancer treatment, and it came back 10 years later this past January. They have 10 kids in the family. He is now 18, and he is absolutely incredible. He was operated on the day before his 4th surgery for this new cancer, and he said, Mom, I want to start walking. I have to be strong because I hope I can go to the Halloween party next Tuesday.
Right.
So how can I not be strong for them? When these kids and these parents, they don't complain, they're not yelling, they're not screaming, they're not cursing.
Right. Do you find that there is a peace that comes, like, you're seeing death all the time, right?
Do I feel like they're peaceful at the end? Dying from cancer is a horrible death. And they usually do not die right away. They die over months and months.
Right.
And we support them during those months. But it's not that they just go to sleep and they're, you know.
Right.
And that I question why they have to suffer.
You're being positive, but there's got to be moments in time
But I'm
when
also
you get
real.
real.
But
right.
oh, I'm definitely real.
Right.
With parents.
Right. And what are those? How are those conversations?
Well, I've had parents who had only one child, and they've said, Barbara, I want to commit suicide. When my child dies, I want to go too. And I've had a conversation with them. They said, am I crazy? Is this crazy? And
No,
my
you're not.
answer was, no, not at all.
Right.
This is your life. This is your child. You
Right.
love more than anything on this earth. But you know why you have to stay here? And they went, why? Because you loved your child the most and you knew them the best. You have to be there to tell their story. Because as you speak and as I share children with you, now they live. So every time you say their name, every time you tell their story, and that is why you have to suffer and stay on this earth.
Right.
But I'll
Right.
be there to hold your hand or speak to you. Somebody once said, 16-year-old Christina Fannin, she said to me, when I die, are you just going to replace me? Well, am I just like, what am I to you? And I said, Christina, in my heart, I have little drawers. And Christina Fannin is in this little drawer, and you're separate from anyone else.
Right.
You're not mixed up
Right.
with all the thousands
People
of
want to
kids
know
I've
that
known.
they've made a difference, an impact. They want to be seen. They want to just know that they mattered, right? So,
And they do, yeah.
So then, in addition to this and running this nonprofit and doing and helping everybody, then Stewart got sick.
Yeah.
And what did he have?
He had Lewy body.
Lewy body.
He
right?
had dementia. It's dementia and Parkinson's
Together.
for
which is-
about 5 years.
I don't even know why I was with you at the end with Stewart.
You were bringing over cookies.
I came to visit, and I came to bring cookies, not to bring cookies to you or Stewart, but I came to
the
bribe the
staff.
staff. It was the bribery, sugar works, always bring sugar to the hospital. But then you called me in the middle of the night and he had passed,
Do you remember what I said to you right away?
which was,
Okay. It was not a good experience.
no,
It was terrible there, and it was in the Bronx, and I'm not mentioning any names, but the cookies didn't do any good.
no.
My friend had put me in bed with him, and I brought music, and I brought all kinds of things, and warm blankets, the same as I would for a family.
Right.
And then when my dear Stewart passed, I was lying there, and so I called you, my most empathetic person I know in the world. That's also probably up at night thinking. And you came to me, and I said to you,
It was like 3 o'clock in
and
the
the
morning.
first thing I said to you was, you don't remember?
No,
Don't rush me.
no.
Because you were a very, very fast woman, and you're used to speeding. And I said, I need to do this slowly. I need to know I'm ready to leave him. So you came and you said, okay, I'm not touching you, I'm keeping you in the bed, but we got to start the process. And you said, why don't you call Paul from Kern's Funeral Home, who takes care of all your children. So you sat with me for about 2 hours while I just laid next to Stewart, just getting, and then you said, but let's get the ball rolling. You have to get going, Barbara. But you were so kind about it. You didn't push me. You really, and I know it's hard for you to slow down. But Paul appeared at the door in a full suit with a big bow tie.
So respectful.
And I said, Paul, why are you dressed? It's 6 o'clock. And he said, I owe it to him. And I would do that out of respect.
Right.
And Paul takes care of all the children. When they die in New York City, he will pick them up, take care of them, call and say they're home now to the parents. And many parents have used his funeral home.
Yeah.
Just because he's such a great guy.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy. I do run, and I want to get things done, and it makes me very uncomfortable when something needs to be done and I need to fix it. So those couple of hours with you and Stewart was like really, it was an honor in the same way that it was an honor for Paul to come and pick Stewart up and take care of him. And I'm so glad that you called me, because it was peaceful and calm, and it was lovely. And
It was his time, though, Ann.
I know.
It was his time.
I know.
It wasn't these children. They shouldn't have a time. It's
Right.
wrong.
Right.
Stuart was older. He
Right.
was sick.
Right.
And he needed to go.
100%.
But that's such a difference of these children. They do suffer.
Yeah.
And we need more funding, absolutely, so that we can give them better cures, so the cancer doesn't keep coming back and reoccurring,
Right.
that they have a better life, that there's medicines, and that's going to be funding.
I want to thank you for all the work that you do. I want to thank you most of all for your friendship and for enabling me to help. It is a blessing to be able to help families in need, and I hope that by bringing your story to so many people, I hope that continues to help families that are going through this horrible time. But I love you, and thank you so much for coming.
You're my Ann, and what I've said to people is I look like I do nothing in life, because you run around doing so much for so many, and the reason why I called you is because you're always there for us,
thank you.
for me,
And
for people that you love.
Yes.
You.
Oh, thank